Another one of these with everybody intact that I feel really good about is North Carolina. Mac Brown going into year 2. Sam Howell had the best true freshman quarterback season that we've seen in the modern era. Set an ACC record for touchdowns with 38 in his first season, over 3,900 yards passing. And they have 2 coordinators that I absolutely adore and are very, very good, Jay Bateman and Phil Longo. Jay Bateman came onto my radar when he forced Kyler Murray in Oklahoma into double overtime at Owen Field as defense coordinator at Army. Okay, give him some Power 5 talent and watch him go. And he has that now, and apparently a couple of those dudes are absolute monsters. And one in particular, right? Because, I mean, there's Desmond, who's playing defensive end. Everybody knew what he's going to be in 2020. But they also got Tony Grimes, who was the number 1 cornerback in the 2021 class, who just decided, oh, Virginia's not going to let me play high school football? Let me reclassify and take my behind down to Chapel Hill, which is such a flex because he did that in July. He said in July, I'm going to reclassify, and showed up in August like, let's play football. Such a flex. And then you got Phil Longo, who got the job with Mac Brown as offensive coordinator after being the offensive coordinator at Ole Miss. Why? Because Mac Brown went up to what he thought was the smartest offensive dude in football in Lincoln Riley and said, who do you like? Who would you hire to run your offense? And Riley said, Longo, but I don't think you can get him. And Mac's like, I'm sorry, son. I've been recruiting for 40 years. What'd you just say? I can't what? Bet. So now you got Jay Bateman, Phil Longo, coaching the Tar Heels, returning with Sam Howell, who is, I think, good money, like the value bet for Heisman Trophy candidate. Because last year, North Carolina is down 21-20 against Clemson. And they went for it on 2-point conversion play. They failed on a speed option. They lose 21-20. It's the closest anybody played Clemson all last year. And that was, remember, juggernaut Clemson. That was before Clemson took the L to LSU. And even then, national runner-up. I really, really, really like North Carolina this year. And they get to beat down Notre Dame. And I got to check their schedule because I'm so messed up with what the schedules are. But I want to say they get to dodge Clemson. But while I'm looking that up, how do you feel about my argument for North Carolina being good?
I'm not ready to shift the crown away from Clemson. I think Clemson has as in all of our text conversations about, did you see who they picked up? Do you see who they retained? Do you see how the rules have helped them? I don't see how you pick against them. Like, even if you want to say, Clemson, like, even if you were a Notre Dame stan.
No Clemson on their schedule this year. But yes, to your point. So they would see them in an ACC championship game. So, I mean, they don't get to dodge them. I'm just...
okay.
Yeah.
Then I think you're on course. I'm not the biggest ACC stan out there, so I don't have much to give to you other than who shows up on the national TV every day or every weekend.
Yeah, and that's what's wild, right? Because I think I miss North Carolina being good because I was watching so much Florida State and Miami football in the late 90s into the 2000s. But every time I try to say that Dre Bly might be the best North Carolina football player of all time, people are like, yo, man, LT went to North Carolina. And I'm like, he did, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then it's like Julius Peppers went to North Carolina. He did, didn't he? Julius Peppers and Dre Bly both played for Mac Brown. And they were right there with 9, 10, 11 wins right before he took the job at Texas. So, like, I'm not used to talking about North Carolina in a really great way because, like, since then it was that 1 year with Larry Fedora, and that was it, right? Like, it's a basketball school. It's always going to be a basketball school. Like, Mac Brown can make $6 million. Roy Williams will make 6.1, just so everybody knows what it is at UNC. But I'm with you on the Clemson thing because what Clemson has done, I don't think we'll be able to put it into context for some time because it's such a small school and doesn't really have tradition like that. It's not even the dominant program in that state, over the last 150 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really about one man. It's about one man who had no other head coaching experience and no other head coaching job. And as much as I want to bet against that, it's like betting against OU in the Big 12 to win the Big 12 championship. You're just like, nah, I like my money. More than that, if they do lose, nobody's going to give me credit for it. And if they win, I look like a fool. So, yeah, I get it. I understand. Another one of those things that I wanted to point out that I thought not enough people were actually given thought to is just how much the national media likes Iowa State. Because I mentioned them a little bit in an earlier segment. I can talk myself out of Iowa State if they know that they have pressure. Because despite them playing OU well the last 3 years, you take losses to Oklahoma State in a squirrely game. You can still get beat by Texas Tech. You can still get beat by Baylor. Like, there are just teams that you should be able to beat down before you beat Oklahoma, before I can tell anybody that you're good. And that said, they got a preseason All-American, a tight end in Charlie Kolar, and they run this defense that is just so annoying. All right, Ron, you're going to run 3 defensive linemen, and you're going to drop 8. I should be able to tear you up. I should be able to run at you, and I should be able to pick your zone apart. But because every last one of them boys can come downhill and tackle, and have also felt like they've been at Iowa State for 9 years, they're just hard to beat. Like, they make you move the football. And in that way, it's like, I'm more talented than you. And they're like, yeah, but we're more disciplined. All we got to do is get you down on the ground. And they get you down on the ground. And that's what really stops me from saying that Iowa State is not going to be anywhere near the Big 12 championship game. But if their defense actually elevates, they get to be more than annoying. They get to be the kind of defense that puts the clamps on people. Now, I'm not asking you to go and watch the Iowa State film. I'm not even asking you to tell me that Iowa State's going to be good. I am asking you, can you win a Big 12 championship? Can you win a Big 12 championship and make the playoff running a bend but don't break defense that is built on lunch pail white kids?
Yeah, you can definitely make it to a playoff with that. K-State has proven that. Every fourth year or so.
That's right.
I'd say that for me, this is a big fun conversation about when we shift from bench racing the top teams in whatever conference against each other, like the first round of the playoffs. But like I said earlier, you have to play to get there. So Iowa State is running a team that's built to beat OU. That's the goal, right? They seem to have a lot of things going for them to be able to sustain some of the goodness that they got last season. But what they're putting on the field is just trying to turn that 41-42 into a 42-41. And from there, we can go and I guess we can go look at Texas, but then we can go start for the Big 12 championship and then maybe first round of the playoffs. Iowa State could do that, but anything past that, we're just seeing if this experiment plays off against essentially one team.